Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
And recently, how would you say moods have been overall? Do you feel like there's been ups and downs in moods, like periods of elevated mood or periods of feeling low?
Stable. Mm-hmm. Out of necessity.
And any irritability that's bothered you, like anger outbursts?
No, I've been making an Instagram reel every day in an effort to win Morgan back. And so my efforts are entirely to make my wife feel safe, to make a space for my wife and make her feel safe. And unfortunately, it couldn't have been more catastrophic that it started out where Morgan separates from me and she needs to feel safe, and everyone needs to come around and make Morgan feel safe. Go to any length to make Morgan feel safe. And instead, first with Kate, followed by my father, followed by uncle, followed by lots of people. Everyone just gets on board. Jack is crazy. Jack needs pills. And you understand why if I'm trying to make a place for my wife at the table, that they would have an interest in opposing my interests. But still, they all got on board, and it wasn't until recently that I finally called things to a halt, and then I did get Kate and my dad on board. There was a revelation.
Did your father recently come out to visit?
He's gonna be here on the 6th through the 14th.
Oh, okay. So, recently, would you say Kate or your father have been expressing any concerns about, to you or about the situation?
I called them up and I got them on my team after having concluded my campaign to establish a space for my wife at the table. I got my dad on board, and then I got Kate on board, and it was real simple. It was a simple move. I can explain it. Okay, and are we on time limit?
No, we got time.
Okay, so you can imagine husband-wife feel dysregulated. Wife leaves to go stay at the cat's house for the night. There's not an actual confrontation. It's just like, I'm done with you. I'm going to sleep at the cat's house. That's what happens. I'm very aware of all sorts of undercurrents, and what I'm thinking is like Morgan turning to me to the degree that she did, pushing me away to the degree that she did. It motivated me to pursue safety and security in an avenue I hadn't been able to, and it would really gotten to us to a healthier place, and I think we are to a healthier place in this regard. I reached out to Morgan's brother. Morgan's brother is, he'll admit that Morgan insists that the relationship be adversarial to her brother. And she insists that adversarial relationship has its origins in two particular incidences in which she's injured, both taking place, she's 19, 20, dealing with bipolar. No one knows how to take care, no one knows what to do. She's not on lithium yet. She's trying different things, thinking lithium would be dangerous. And so that's very necessary. If you're looking at these two instances where there's siblings, aggression between siblings, and Morgan gets injured or traumatized, the brother's a bad guy. Okay, it's really hard to say that he's still the bad guy after 19 years. When he was helping you out, we had to fall back and stay at his house because we didn't have anywhere to stay. Yeah, and so he needs to be able to work his way out of that circumstance. He's a father. He's got 2 kids, grown kids. I've always wanted to be an uncle to those kids. I've never been able to. I was a chocolatier for campaign for many Christmases. I was never allowed to give chocolate to kids. So I reach out to the brother and I start to work through however I can resolve that issue between him and my wife at the time. And so I work with him and I work with him and over time, and Morgan takes tremendous issue with that. Morgan knows I'm working with a brother. She takes issue with a particular text in which I use a technique called elicitation, where you speculate to the guy, like, isn't this what happened? And you give an account of what happened, hoping that he's going to say, no, this is what happened. And sure enough, he says, no, this is what happened. His account. And so, I mean, regardless of whether who's right or wrong, it's good to have his account, a rock solid account of what happened, and an account of how he would defend himself, and an understanding of the concessions that he needs if they're ever not going to have an adversarial relationship. Okay, so that was very active, very involved. I felt great connecting with that family in my family, the Morgan's brother could not have been more willing. Okay, though what I just described, where there's these two incidences and there's injury or trauma, okay, and there's bipolar. Those instances are instances what I would characterize as a augmented memory, where Morgan's description of exactly what happens, well, for instance, it might have the brother having evil intentions, and something like that is the augment. That's what's added. You know, something to augment her memory, to have something like what happened. I saw one of these, and then to impose a desire to injure, a desire to cause what was caused. That is excessive. That's what I would consider augmenting. Another thing is that Morgan says that the brother strangled her, but according to the brother, I mean, just taking just using his narrative for a moment, he's charged and he gets her in a headlock, and so when someone tells me headlock, I've got a good idea of it. I get that they might be cutting off their blood flow, but one is a defensive move, and then strangling with your hands is it's something totally different, I think. And so Morgan always says strangle, and she doesn't say headlock. And so, okay, so just consider that an augmented memory. It's these memories that have they've been fixated for a long time, and they're just slightly different than the reality. The reality could be addressed, the reality could be resolved. Okay, now I want to jump to what I learned, like a great leap forward in my journey, because Morgan says that, like, she is done with me because I've been talking with brother, especially because of the text that I sent to her brother, where I use elicitation, and Morgan had every reason in the world to take tremendous issue with what I said, because they're not facts. You know, I'm just, they aren't facts at all. I was just proposing something, hoping an answer would come back to me. Okay. Now I want to get to the second. What it just blew the lid off everything. And it's related to what I just described as an augmented memory. Okay, so you've got that augmented memory. There's implanted memories that Morgan's dealt with through bipolar. One in particular in which we're out in the water. There's a kayaker yelling at Morgan about chasing a whale, and over time, that memory through a bipolar episode got augmented to the point of an implanted memory, where Morgan gets up on the kayak and physically aggresses the kayaker and scares him off. I mean, that was a real memory that she had to work through with friends, explaining to her and just working through it. Okay, thank you for listening to that, because that sets you up for what I learned. Okay, there's a brother who I absolutely, under zero circumstances, could have anything to do with, because he's adversary. He's such a bad guy. He's not. He's a wonderful guy. He's my brother-in-law. Okay, now there's an ex-best friend. Okay, now that's the person who I really, really, really shouldn't reach out to. And so when Morgan says that, like, that me reaching out and saying what I said to Alex was the final straw, I think, okay, the final straw. Okay, well, I'm gonna reach out now. I'm reaching straight out to Steph. Okay, so I reach out to Steph's husband Justin, and I say that if I'm gonna talk to Steph, it has to be recorded. It has to be recorded, ideally video. Because what would happen if it's not recorded is that I would be accused of saying things I didn't say. It's got to all be a matter of fact. So I go and I meet Steph and Justin, and they asked me to give them an account of like what happened to our friendship, because we had a wonderful friendship within this couple. Okay, and so I give this